All right, time for another edition of Shelton City Council Looking Ahead with City Manager Mark Ziegler. And Mark, Tuesday night's business meeting, a little light on the agenda items.
Yeah. We don't. For some reason, this is just kind of a lull in the spring, I guess. We pick back up, but asking the council to authorize a purchase of a police vehicle. We're replacing a 2013 Charger that has 117,000 miles on it or something like that. So the thing we take into consideration with police vehicles are hours, and typical vehicles don't have hour meters on them, but they have a lot of idle time and a lot of run time outside of miles. And then city miles, I think it's, the general consensus is that city miles are much more impactful on a vehicle than highway miles. So it's time to age this vehicle out and replace it with a new one and make sure that we have the proper equipment for our first responders.
So aside from the meeting, let's talk about the big thing and the council opening, as Joe Schmidt officially made the announcement on last Tuesday night that he's resigned. You got to fill that seat. You got 90 days to do so. Extensive process. You talked about that process last Tuesday night. Why don't you give us what you can tell us at this point?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're bound by state law in certain circumstances. And then we also have a council protocol. We reviewed that last Tuesday. And the protocol manual outlines the operations of the council from the agenda setting to the rules and procedures to filling council seats. So much of the process is again going to be followed through that protocol manual. Whereas we will advertise for applicants for the council seat. The council appoints an individual to fill that seat for essentially the term. Actually, it's through the 2025 general election date of certification is when the term would be. So it wouldn't be the end of the year as Councilmember Schmidt's term would expire. It would actually be certified. Whoever's elected in that election would take their seat early. So that's the term. We'll accept applications. The council will review those applications, select the individuals that they would interview, go through an interview process. At this point, that's scheduled for May 14th, special council meeting to take place of our study session. And then they would deliberate in open public meeting on who they would select by a majority of the council. And that individual will be sworn in on the 21st. Again, we'll have the application out early next week. That will be made available to the community. We'll have a press release out explaining the opening and the process as well. And those will all be due by 1 p.m. on May 3rd. Back here to the city of Shelton, city file this weekend. So for their review.
So the qualifications, aside from the application, there is a specific thing. You have to be a resident of the city. You have to be a registered voter.
Yeah. Other than that, 18 years of age, just like any of our local seats, 1 year of residency in the city of Shelton. So our application, it asks the basic information, name, address, how do we get a hold of you? Why do you want to be a council member? What do you think the role of council member is? Civic engagement, past employment, much like a resume or you're applying for a job. It just gives the council a background on the individual. Have you attended council meetings? What, how do you feel what do you feel like the role of a council member is? And then we will go through an interview process that will further vet that and further vet maybe the individual's goals and aspirations for the city, what they believe they can bring to the council as a team, as a group of 7, the governing body and policy makers here. So, kind of yet to be determined. We've only gone through this, in my experience, I think one other time, which is back in 2020.
Mhm.
So we do have a little bit of a process that has been established we can follow, and there's still a few people around here that were here at that time, but that process as well. So that helps. That helps certainly.
So the business meeting is at 6 p.m. on Tuesday night. The press release come out sometime around then, and then you'll let everybody know when they can get their application in and
Yeah,
get that process started.
Yep. The application will be on the city's website, so we'll link it. It'll be at the city of Shelton / council vacancy. Pretty easy. Find, fill out, submit electronically. This is as painless as possible.
Now, I did notice, and I don't know if we want to get into this, but on the draft application, you said something about, here's your phone number, here's your email. If you don't want this to be public, do not write it in there. Is that right?
Well, it actually, we'll need to be able to contact somebody, right? We'll redact that for public consumption. But it could be, as all records are at the city of Shelton, they are public records and they're discoverable by the general public. So we'll redact that when it first goes out to public. If we get a public records request, in that instance, we have our attorney review it. We also contact the individual that might be subject to that public records request. And if there's personal information in there, we let them know that whether we can remove it or not and whether it's going. So yeah, we won't make it readily available, but there's potential, as always, through that Public Records Act that information could be discovered.
And if the person gets appointed, they get a city email and a city phone. Is that right?
Exactly right. Yep. Yeah. So for any, and that goes back to the Public Records Act as well. We want much as city staff here as well. We want all of our records to be maintained through city systems and personal devices. So we provide that opportunity and require that of our council members as well.
All right. So next meeting, 6 o'clock Tuesday night, Civic Center in the courtroom. You can attend in person, get on the Zoom, or watch it on the city's YouTube channel. Thanks, Mark.